Hello guys, wanted to record this video to talk more about how me and my team were able to scale a ecom brand all the way to $63,000 in just 30 days. And I wanted to show you this case study quickly as we can go over the different steps that I took to get them to these large numbers, right? Because at the end of the day, I know a lot of brands are struggling, especially with advertising in order to scale. Like they're trying to find ways to scale their brand, but there are always these bottlenecks which they have to try and overcome, and they don't know exactly what it is. For example, they may be getting low conversion rates, they may be getting low ROI, and they may be spending money on ads, but they're not seeing a return, and they're just wondering why. Maybe they think their creators are good, right? They have good creators, they have good videos, but when they send traffic to the website, for some reason they're not converting. They have low conversion rates, and as a result, their ROI is quite low. So in this video, I'll talk more about that and sort of like solutions to that, as well as just talk more about how we were able to do this for this brand and how you can replicate this as well. So stay to the end. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. And as I keep uploading on a frequent basis, just giving case studies and sort of knowledge and sort of good value on how to scale your brand, whether you're in the fashion or e-commerce space. So let's get into it. So with this brand, they were generating $63,000, right, with the strategies that I've talked about in previous videos, and we spent around $19,000, and this was in a 30-day period, right? And if we look at what they were a women's clothing ecom brand, right? So they're probably similar to your brand, where you have items on your store. In this case, it was a clothing brand, and they were selling different dresses. They were struggling to get results, right, with ads. They were running ads previously, but they weren't seeing the ROI that they wanted. They're only getting like a 1x ROI, which is definitely not good. And they were working with an agency who were obviously promising the world, but they weren't delivering, right? So eventually they had to switch over to me and my team, and this is how we were able to 3x their results, essentially. They were stuck at 50K per month. So this was mostly down to organic and email marketing. So it's very important that you have email marketing in your backend so that you're able to scale and maximize the lifetime value of your customer. Very important. And they were frustrated with stagnating revenues and ROI. And the competitors were making more money than them, which is usually what is the case when it comes to brands that are stagnating or are struggling to scale with ads, because all of the big brands that are in your market are scaling with ads, right? They have a good organic base, and then they have the email and SMS marketing in the back end, taking care of people who are coming in but not purchasing. And as well as that, they have the ads running. So they've got Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Google ads, etc., which they're running in the front end. So what happens, they drive that traffic to their website and they monitor the front end sales, but they understand that to scale to large numbers, they need to nurture their orders over time, which I'll talk more about in just a bit. So that was the situation with this brand, and you're probably in the same situation as them, right? You're probably struggling to get results with ads. You're probably stuck under around 30 to 50K a month, right? Or even less. If you're less than that, then I would say you need to try and focus on organic and not blow too much money on ads. You may be frustrated with low revenues and ROIs from your ads or in general, and your competitors are killing it with ads, and you're wondering why are they doing so well. And now this brand obviously became one of those brands that are killing it with ads now, right? They're spending $20,000 in a single month, right? And they're making back $63,000 at the bare minimum with a 3.2x ROI. So they could be making 3.5x ROI in actuality. Not to mention all the people that they're coming in and they're nurturing over time, and they've got their email and SMS so that they can reach out to them at a later period. So they're making a lot more money than this. And this is where you need to get to, right, in order to seek success with ads and with your brand, right? And I'm sure that's what you want to do. So let's talk more about the strategy itself. So first thing you need to do is you need to do a target market analysis, right? So whatever position you're in, even if you're at 50 or 100K a month, you need to understand your target market. And how do you do that? Well, you need to do surveys. You need to look at the competition. You need to look at how they're positioning their ads. You need to look at what products they're selling, right? What price points? What does their product description look like? Do they have good product images? Do they have models in their images and their brand? How they're positioning themselves? Do they have unique selling points? All of these different things that you need to consider when you're trying to get your brand to the next level, right? So this is very important. And a lot of brands sort of skip upon this and they think, oh, I'll just sell a product and then I'll just run ads to the product and hopefully I'll make sales. When it doesn't really work out, it doesn't really work out like that, because you need to have a good understanding of what the target market needs, right? And once you have a good understanding, then you can tailor your offer to them, right? So that you can effectively reach out to them, resonate with them, and they're more likely to buy. And this will increase your conversion rates, right? The reason you may be seeing low conversion rates is because, like I said, people come into your website, they see your products, and at the end of the day, they may not even like your product, or they may not resonate with it, or doesn't hit their pain points. And as a result, they leave the website and they don't come back. So it's very important that you do target market analysis. Next thing that we did with this brand, once they worked with us and our agency, is that we did a creative analysis. Now, what does this mean? It means that when it comes to trying to find out what is going to resonate with the target market, we have the creatives from the brand, right? The brand made the creatives, whether it's the videos, carousels, photos, all these different things, right? You may have user generated content as well, if they're inclined to have that. And we will take a look at, what can we do to target these people with these ads. So if you have multiple photos, we can create carousels, we can create slideshows. This is something that I've done many times. And with the video, we can split test these videos, right? And the more creatives that you have, the better, because creatives is what is driving conversion nowadays. If you have very good quality creatives that is portraying the product in a good light, that's addressing the objections and the pain points of the customer, then you're definitely going to get higher click-through rates and therefore a lot higher conversion rates. And also you need to consider that pre-selling is also very important when it comes to creatives. It needs to pre-sell to the potential customer the product and handle any objections in the ad, ideally, right? So by the time they come to the website, they're already primed to buy. And a lot of brands ignore this, a lot of agencies ignore this, and this is why when they run a simple ad that's not really pre-selling, they send it to a product page or collection page, and then the target customer just bounces right off the website. So very important that you have very good creatives, right? If you need a resource, you can always look at something like Foreplay. Foreplay is a good one, right? You can look at Google Facebook Ads Manager, or Facebook Ads Library rather. Okay, these are good places to go and look for ads, because you will see exactly what's working with your competitors, right? And then you can save your favorite ads onto Foreplay, so you can look at it later and analyze it later. So it's very important that you do that. And then upon creative analysis, we went ahead and did the profit safeguard blueprint. Now, what is this? This is the profit safeguard blueprint. Is effectively sort of like the system that me and my team use in order to scale brands from wherever they're currently at all the way to their target revenue. So maybe 100K a month, 200, 300K a month, and so on, right? And we have been able to do it with a very systematic approach and using very logical steps, right? And I've mentioned a bit about the profit safeguard blueprint in my previous videos. So if you want to know more about that, you can always look at those videos. But basically involves three stages, right? So when it comes to running ads, you want to focus on the awareness phase. So this is number one, right? And these will be campaigns that target people who have never heard of your brand before. And usually what happens is the ads need to target people who have never heard of brand before. So there's a different way you market to these people, right? you really want to stand out from the competition, because remember, your target market is on Facebook and Instagram scrolling, and they're seeing hundreds of ads every single day, and eventually they'll get ad blindness. So what happens is they'll start to filter out ads that is not really interesting to them on a subconscious level. So you want to really understand how to stand out. And in this case, this brand, we made sure that the creators were very, very colorful, and they were targeting the right people, right? We weren't doing any broad targeting, as a lot of agencies will tell you, or a lot of other people will tell you. We're doing very good narrow targeting. Usually interests work quite well, and we were trying to target the people who love these type of dresses, right? And so we were getting very good cost per clicks and good CTRs, which is something that you need to take into account. But it's not the be all end all, but it's definitely something that you want to have. It's a very good indicator of how well ads is performing, right? Um, Even though other agencies or other people may say, oh, it's not a good indicator. And again, it really depends, right? You want to have good clicks, you want to have good CTRs, because it's showing that people are actually interested in the ad, right? So you want to be creating campaigns that are very, very particular for people who never heard of your brand before, right? So you need to write, you can split test long and short descriptions and see how that works. And usually you want to add in sort of like your unique selling points and things like that, in order to make sure that you are standing out from the competition and that they can consider you, right? The target customer can consider you. And so they can go down the funnel, as you can see here. I created a funnel diagram here, so that they will see your ad here, and they can eventually go down to this phase, right, where they become warm. This is what you want. So you need to create amazing ads that is hitting their pain points right off the bat. Otherwise, it's just going to scroll past and it probably won't see the ad again. So it's very important that we do that, that you are able to do that. Next thing that we did is we focus on the nurturing phase with this brand. And this is very important, probably the most important part. You target people who have interacted with your brand before, but not viewed your products or have not added to cart. So these are people who are potentially followed your page, right? Followed your page, your Instagram page, so your Facebook page, and followed your Instagram page, right? And also those that have viewed your videos, right? These are very, very, very good groups of people who are interested in your brand, but they need to know more information and they need to be warmed up over time, right? This is where a lot of people are going to be, right? That is interested in your brand. Again, the awareness phase are people who are never heard of your brand before, and a large number of them will never be interested in your brand. But those that come down here, these are people who are going to be interested in your brand, right? So you really need to hit them with very good ads, right? I highly recommend videos, right, to warm them up and educate them about your unique selling points, right? And also about potential things such as branding, right? Very important if you have other brand elements that you want to inject into your brand, into the ads, right? That are able to make sure that they're actually having knowledge about your brand. Because remember, you need 70 touch points, right? You need 70 touch points to convert somebody, right? If you don't have these touch points, right, they don't feel comfortable enough to buy from you, right? In any instance, right, whenever you wanted to buy a product, you usually had to think about whether or not you wanted to buy the product and then get more information, especially with, for example, fashion items or e-commerce items online, right? You maybe look at their website, you would maybe look at reviews, you look at products from the competitors. There's loads of different things you look at, right, in order to buy. Especially with, like I said, medium ticket products like in the fashion space. Because if it's a lower ticket product, usually it can be an impulse buy. So, but in this case, it wasn't. The product prices were upwards of $100 or so, right? So these are products that are going to have a longer buyer's window. So we need to have this phase. This is why it's most important for e-commerce brands in general, right? And you want to be selling products that have high average order value anyway. You want to be selling higher ticket products, especially with ads, because ads can be quite expensive, and you need room to scale. You need to have the profit margin to scale. So this is where it becomes very important to have the nurturing phase. And this is what we did for this brand, which contributed to us getting to $63,000 in a 30-day period. And then the last phase is the conversion and retention phase. So we target those who have added the cart, viewed the product, and purchased, right? Very important that you target these people because you can increase the lifetime value, right, of the customer, and you increase the ROAS at the same time. So it's a win-win situation. And these guys are the hottest, and it's a lot more easier to get your current purchasers to buy than to get a new purchaser or someone who hasn't purchased to buy, right? So very important that you target these people with maybe dynamic product ads, right? Very good for fashion and e-commerce brands. You want to really hit them with DPAs or dynamic product ads. Okay, very important that you do that. And you want to make sure that you are hitting them up with maybe discounts. Discounts can be quite good, as well as making sure you provide them with payment methods, right? Or payment options, e.g. Afterpay, right? All these different things, Klarna, to make it as easy as possible for them to convert, right? Because they're on the fence, right? They may be on the fence if they haven't purchased yet. So you want to try and push them over the line by handling their objections, right? Maybe you say free delivery, right? These are very, very good things that you can add to your ad copy and your creative in order to get them to purchase. So this is what we focused on. And then after that, we scaled all of these different aspects, right? All these different types of campaigns, right? To the point where we're spending around $800 a day on ads profitably, right? Because we had dialed in all of these different parts of the funnel, right? So the awareness phase was profitable, right? Why? Why was it profitable? Because we had created ads that had resonated with the target market. We did our target market analysis. We did the creative analysis, right? And then we implemented our blueprint to make sure that the awareness phase was going to be successful because we had a good understanding of who we were targeting to the T and made sure that when they saw our ad, they were at least paying attention, and eventually we can retarget these people in the nurturing phase, right? And effectively get them to eventually go to the website and potentially purchase, right? So that's effectively the blueprint in a nutshell. And this is very simplistic approach to get any brand to multi six figures in profit every single month. And this is how we were able to do that with this brand, where we spent $20,000, right, to make back $63,000, right, bare minimum. And we eventually scaled them up even further, but in this case study, we were able to do it with $63,000 with just Facebook ads alone, right? This can be replicated on other platforms too. So now that you know that, this is effectively how we did it. So the question now is, what do you do in order to get these type of results, right? So this is your situation, right? You may be, like I said, not doing massive numbers, and even if you are, maybe you want to get to higher numbers, right? So what is your options at the moment? Your option is you can do everything yourself, okay? So like I mentioned, you can follow all the steps in my videos, and you can just go ahead and try and scale the brand with all of the different tactics and the different strategies that I've mentioned, right? And it is quite valuable, right? You're learning how to do it, but again, you're a brand owner, right? This is why it's not good, because you're supposed to be focusing on product, you're supposed to be focused on logistics and other aspects of the business instead of focusing on marketing, which is something that involves a high level of skill, right? Which you most likely don't have, right? So this is why it's not good. And this can negatively impact your business. Why is that? Because you'll be effectively not be getting the best results that you can get, right? When you know that there are specialists like me and my team and others out there that can actually do it better than you and can get you results much faster. So when you're focusing on marketing, you're going to be neglecting other parts of the business, right? Because marketing is quite consuming, right? You need to learn all of the different aspects, and you need to learn from trial and error and all these different things, and this can negatively impact your business. So this is why I do not recommend going down this route. The next option is that you can check out my content on Instagram, right? Because I go through all the tips there, and you can DM me on Instagram. You can DM me 63K to know that you watch this video, and we can talk more about how I can help you scale your brand. Because I can give you advice and tips as well, directly that's tailored to your brand, and you should be able to see great results with that as well. But still, you'll still be implementing it yourself, even if I give you all the advice in the world. So that is the issue here. Is why you're not seeing massive numbers like you're seeing with this client, right? Where they produced $63,000 in a 30-day period with a 3x ROI, right? This is not easy to achieve, right? If you don't know what you're doing. It's easy for me to achieve because I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly how to get the results, right? For fashion and e-commerce brands, right? This strategy can work with both of those categories, right? And we've seen from many years of experience, right? I have some of the best team members in the world that have worked with brands that are spending $200,000 in a single month, and they're bringing back $1 million in a single month, right? On all the different platforms. So we know exactly what works. We know exactly what to do in every situation, and this is why I highly recommend that you work with specialists and you don't do everything yourself. When you're just going to cause yourself heartache, stress, anxiety, uncertainty, all of these different negative emotions that could have been avoided, right? So this is one option, to DM me on Instagram. And the best option in this case is to book a call with me, right? You can DM me call on Instagram, or you can click the link in the description below, and we can talk more about how we can scale your brand and problems that you're facing currently. So you may be at, a certain revenue and you want to get to a larger revenue, right? Which is point B. And I can be the gap for you to do that, right? So we can talk on Zoom about all of these different things as well, talk more about sort of the terms and conditions and any other objections that you may have, right? And again, this is not a sales call, so if you're not ready to invest or have the funds to do so, or you're not just ready yet, then you don't book in the call. Just use the content, right, to learn everything, and then once you're ready, then book in the call, and then we can pretty much just scale you up very quickly, right? This took like 2 weeks to do. Once we were onboarded, we pretty much knew exactly what the problem was, and we just solved it just like that. So we know exactly how to scale brands quite quickly, okay? And this is proof of that. So that's what you can do. Now, if there's any other objections that you can DM me and I can address them for you. But the main ones are usually that you don't have the funds, potentially, again, or you're just uncertain of that we can produce results. If you're uncertain that we can produce the results, then I can show you the case studies on my Instagram. You can go over there and check all of the case studies that I've submitted there. I always have more of that haven't submitted yet, but I can also talk about the brands themselves that I've worked with, right, in the fashion and e-commerce space. And we also work on a part performance basis. So if you don't see the results that you're looking for, right, which is usually above a certain ROI. So for example, if it's a 3x ROI, then we won't charge you that performance fee, right? And so you will always be profitable, right? And we will work with you until we get you the result you're looking for, right? But before we even work together, we're going to do an audit of your brand to make sure that you are a right fit. Because we don't just work with any brand. We make sure that the brand is actually compatible with ads as they currently are, or has the potential to be compatible with ads. And, as a result, we make sure that we going to, scale you to the massive numbers, the 200K a month, 300K a month in profit and so on. So, book in a call and we can talk more about this, as I don't have too much time. And also, we have limited spots. So, if you're very serious, then I highly encourage you to book in a call and talk with us. As we work with brands, a limited number of brands, because we have limited number of personnel. So we want to try and also provide the best results as possible, so we can actually do our jobs. So that's something that we focus on quite heavily, is actually producing results, unlike other agencies and freelancers who actually burn brands, right? So we try to eliminate that completely. So book a call or talk to me on Instagram. You can DM me the word 63K or call, and I'll get back to you on that. So again, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you watch the video at the end screen, and I'll speak to you soon.